I mean, I didn't really prepare or prep anything, so I guess it's more like
It's
like
honestly
casual.
just conversational.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm probably going to use maybe less than 5% of whatever we get here.
Okay.
So
Perfect. Yeah.
it's almost just like hang out.
Yeah.
And literally me getting to know you.
Okay.
So I encourage you to tell your story.
Oh.
I encourage you to share with me some of the things that you've gone through, because I feel like those are valuable things that not just for myself to hear, but also I think if we're able to share for the rest of our community.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And as I was telling you, the whole thing that I'm doing with this least confusion thing is really just showing that you can be an optometrist and you can still have passions and have life.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel like you're just stuck, because that's what it feels like in optometry school. So speaking about optometry school, you just finished optometry school, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
How's that whole 4 years of experience for you?
Ooh, yeah, it was definitely very rough. I mean, coming in though, I mean, I'll be honest, the first 2 quarters was kind of like easy, if you like remember, and then it was spring that really took off, and I was like, yo, okay, this is real optometry school. It's what like a lot of the upperclassmen told me. But yeah, it was definitely very difficult, you know, having 2 exams literally every week, plus proficiencies on top of that. But yeah, I guess, you know, I made it. Yeah.
So before you went to optometry school, where did you go for undergrad?
I went to UC Riverside for undergrad. And I graduated there in 2019. So I took 2 gap years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you decide on optometry when you were at UCR, or you decided on optometry after you finished UCR?
It was, good question. I think it was towards the tail end of my 4th year and then afterwards. Because at the time I knew I wanted to do healthcare for sure. You know, I love helping people and whatnot, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I remember taking physics though in college, and it was definitely difficult, but when we got to like the ray tracing and all the light stuff, I was like, okay, I am pretty interested in this, to be honest, and all the neuro stuff was interesting for me. So I guess like combining the two, you kind of get optometry. So I started talking to a lot of my classmates who are, you know, doing optometry school, who's into optometry, and then they kind of referred me to one of the doctors for me to shadow, and then I ended up working with her as like an intern. I'm not sure if you know her, but her name was Dr. Julie Fan. I think she has 2 practices, one in San Marino and one somewhere in the Inland Empire. So I worked at the Inland Empire one. And, you know, after working with her, like I realized like, because before that, again, I just thought optometry is just like, you know, 1 or 2, just, you know, get them glasses and whatnot. But like after seeing her do the whole exam, you know, dilated exams and whatnot, you know, you really do make a difference in, you know, patient's life here, you know, whether it be glasses, you know, taking care of their eyes and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of what got me into optometry. So
funny story, Julie Fan, she's my classmate.
Is she?
Yeah.
No
SCCO
way.
2013.
Yeah, I think she's the vice president, I think is what she told me.
She's a go-getter. She's a hustler. Like, if there's one person that I have no doubt that's going to succeed and make lots of money and be super successful, it will be her, because she just finds a way.
Such a small world. Okay. Yeah.
Now, while you're going through all of that, where was music for you at that moment?
So, I mean, I might have to start from the beginning. And again, it's like a long spiel, so feel free to cut it however you want. But so my name is Sup, by the way. I was born in Thailand, so then I have to move here when I was in like 9th grade, or not 9th grade, excuse me. I moved to America when I was 9-year-old, and then I started 4th grade here. Okay, and then, you know, moving here, it was kind of like hard to kind of fit in, per se, for lack of a better word, fitting in, just because I didn't know the language, you know. Learning English was definitely very hard for me. And, you know, I remember one day during lunchtime, you know, in middle school, I was walking out from the classroom and I see like a group of my classmates. They were singing and playing instruments on like the bleachers. And so I went up to them and like I kind of listened to what they're playing and listening, or what they're playing and they're singing, and I was like, yo, like this sounds pretty good. Like, I back before then I didn't really listen to music as much per se, but after hearing that I was like, okay, let me take a listen, let me see what's going on. So I asked them, and they were playing Taylor Swift. They were singing and playing music from Taylor Swift. And then from then on, I kid you not, I came home like literally that day, and then onwards, I would watch every Taylor Swift music video like on YouTube. And I kind of used that as like a way for me to learn English as well. Like I would translate her lyrics from English to Thai and then Thai to English and whatnot. So I got into music that way, and in a way, once I was able to learn the language, I kind of felt like more like fit in, because I was able to kind of like sing with them, not good, but like I was kind of like singing along with them and just kind of getting to know my classmates more. And yeah, and then it was also my classmates from middle school who introduced me to K-pop as well. So K-pop is like Korean pop music. Yeah, it's very self-explanatory. And what's funny is that both K-pop and Taylor Swift, I think, are like the two big things that I'm doing right now. When I DJ, EDM or electronic dance music, I try to incorporate Taylor Swift and K-pop together. So it's kind of like a full circle moment, coming, like moving here to the US and like getting to where I am now. But I've never started DJing until I graduated undergrad, actually. So this is like time back to UC Riverside now. I hang out a lot with like a lot of my friends. Some of them DJs too. So I would like, go to one of their like functions and parties, and I would kind of like watch and observe. I would kind of listen and like ask them questions too, to kind of like learn like what they're doing. And then it was them who also took me to like, music festivals and whatnot. So I kind of got into electronic dance music that way as well. And again, I really like how, going to these festivals, everyone is just very welcoming. Everyone is like very nice. So I just feel pretty included in the community. And that's kind of what I try to do with my live sets too. Again, similar to like my whole story in middle school, right? Like learning English through music. Now I feel pretty connected to, my classmates. So now I want everyone to feel included and feel welcomed, on the dance floor when I play as well. So I try to do like a lot of sing-alongs is what I do, and then just songs that like everyone would know. But yeah, I know it's like all over the place. But back to, yeah, so I got into EDM and DJing towards the end of my fourth year undergrad. But I've never actually played like a live show until last year, actually. So it was May 2024. That's when like I got my first gig. It's very fun. It's in, for me to get that gig though, I think it was a lot of luck on my part too. If you want me to elaborate, it's...
Oh, absolutely. But before you elaborate on that story, because I think that story is super cool, I'm personally curious, because you had this point where you started DJing right around the turn when you started becoming more interested in optometry. So right around that same time.
Oh, okay.
At least from what I heard.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point at that moment where you're like, well, I'm choosing optometry, but there's also this music thing, I'm really interested in it. Did you ever come to a cross point where you had to decide to pursue maybe a career in music versus optometry?
Wow, that's a really good... I never thought of that, actually. To me, in the back of my mind, at that point in time, at least, I've always thought of music as like a hobby. Just things for me to do like in my free time. And then optometry is like, I guess, what's more sustainable, and it's like a career I can build off of. But I guess I'll tell you a story where so this is back in VA Tucson, actually. So I'm like jumping all over the place. So back in VA Tucson, this was the winter quarter rotation. And this was right after like all my board exams. You know, I finished part one, part two, part three. I finished all my exams. So I had nothing to worry about other than going to, going to clinic and just surviving and just cruising through until graduation. Or at least at the time, that was like my mindset. And I think that's what kind of made me focus a lot on music then. I think I remember like coming back, I would just, go on my computer and just like start making, a lot of mashups and whatnot, which is very fun for me. I enjoyed that a lot. And then it wasn't until like we got our midterm evals, so I got like a falling behind grade on one of them. And that was the first time I've ever, gotten a fallen behind in clinic. And I think that experience kind of made me reflect and think about, what I'm doing at that time. Like, how should I word this? Like, at the end of the day, like, yes, I love music and optometry together. And I want to do both of them together, in the future, for sure. And then we'll get to that. But at that point in time, I did a lot of reflecting after that. Like, a lot of talking to like my girlfriend, family, therapist and whatnot. And, it made me realize that I was still a student, right? I'm still in my winter quarter, fourth year. I plan to do optometry as my career. I am still a student, so it is my responsibility to, learn and do well in clinic. Because before that, I would take notes and make like a chart of all my patients that I encountered, and I would look at like the interesting diseases, that I encountered that day, and I would look up more information. And along the way, I kind of stopped doing that during the winter quarter because I was kind of very focused on music then. So again, it made me realize like, yeah, I will do music, but I think to me it would be more of like a hobby. Like, I'm not going to pursue it as a career per se, just because, I love optometry. I love, the patients I see and whatnot. And, I'm in my fourth year now. Like, I might as well just finish it, right? So, so balancing optometry and, your hobby, like music, is very difficult for sure. But I think, I've set my priorities that, I will do optometry as a career. And music is my, hobby. Something I would do in my spare time, yeah.
So you're in your bedroom, this is Tucson, you get that falling behind mark in clinic, you're going back home, you're doing mashups. You did tell me there's this one particular mashup that you did that got the attention of some DJs, so can you tell me the story behind that?
So again, I mentioned before, like, luck is like a big thing here, and again, I've been DJing since 2019, but not to glaze myself, I think my mashups are good, but I would not have a chance to play live if it wasn't for that person. So what I mean by that is, I met this up-and-coming DJ and producer back in EDC of 2019. And EDC is like a music festival in Las Vegas, just for those who don't know. And, I remember vividly, I have like a Thai flag in my hand because, I'm Thai, and no one had like the Thai flag. So my friend group would know that that's me, right? So I had a Thai flag. And this random person, I kid you not, like, he came up to me and my friends and just started talking to us. And then we found out that, like, he's Thai too. So we ended up just talking a little bit, and we learned that he's like an up-and-coming DJ and producer. His name was Sabai, which is like a Thai word too. That means like chill or like easygoing. So we met him, and we kind of exchanged like our numbers, Instagram and whatnot. So I've been like following his music a little bit too. And around that time, I've been making mixes and mashups for a very long time. And, one of the mashups I made, again, it's by Taylor Swift and like an EDM artist. So one of the mashups kind of blew up. And, he was listening to my mixes too. Sabai was listening to my mix, and he told me like, yo, like, I like this mashup you made, like, and the songs were Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift, and it was a Millennium song, Blame Myself. So yeah, he was like, yo, can you send that to me? I'll actually like play it in my live shows. And at first I was like, what, is he for real? Like I don't, like, that's never happened before. So like I sent it to him, and then I ended up attending one of his shows too. And then like I was listening, and then I kid you not, like I remember him playing it, and I got really excited. Actually, I still have the recording on my phone. I was like, yo, like he's actually playing it, and a lot of my friends were like, yo, like that's your stuff, right? So yeah, so I was very lucky that he found me, or I guess we both found each other at EDC with the Thai flag, and yeah, so fast forward, we, kept in touch a little bit, and I found out that he had a show back in May of last year, okay? And then I remember him like calling me, and he was like, yo, I have a show in May 2024 last year, why don't you open for me? And then from then on, I was just like, yo, like what? I've never ever in my life played a show in front of an audience before that time. It was only, in my bedroom, friends' birthday parties, like, super, super small parties. No, like, real crowd, nothing like that. So that was a huge, huge step for me. So, when he called me, I was like, yeah, of course, like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna pass this up. It's like, at the time, it was like a once in a lifetime experience. And again, like, without, like, I bring up luck a lot just because, like, there are artists out there who have really good music, but if it wasn't for this chance that I had, from Sabai and his manager's name is Bruce, I probably wouldn't be here playing, like, at a live show. Because from then on, now that I have, like, one show under my belt, I actually reached out to, like, other places asking like, hey, like, do you need any openers to play at your show and whatnot? And I guess the rest is like history now. I've been playing, I don't even know how many shows I've played, but it's definitely in the double digits now. And it's only been a year. So I just feel very, very lucky to be able to do this. I think like, having this opportunity to do, optometry and music together is like, it's very unique, I think, and I'm just very thankful. I think the word thankful is like, yeah, I'm just very grateful for this experience. Yeah.
Your story is giving me chills because you're kind of using the word luck, and like to me, it almost sounds like destiny in some ways.
Okay.
With the whole flag and Sabai coming up to you, and you guys link up that way, and you happen to be already doing mashups. So I feel like that timeline is already kind of starting to come into play. It's not just like, oh, this happened and then this happened and now everything happened. Like you had to have the history of all of that, like you doing mashups on behind the scenes in order for that connection to go further to where it is now. Have you ever heard of this quote that luck is preparation and opportunity? It's when preparation meets opportunity. So it's not necessarily luck in some ways. It's kind of like, it's lucky that you guys are both at the same place, but for a real genuine connection to have happened, like there's some backstory behind that. That's I think your preparation. So that's the way I see it.
Okay.
Now, which is really, really crazy because you've been playing shows. What would you say is the biggest show that you played so far?
Yeah, the biggest one would have to be at a place called Academy LA. I think it's like renowned as like one of the biggest and best clubs in LA. It's owned by Insomniac Events. But yeah, that place is like amazing. They have like LED lights and LED panels on the walls on the side of the venue. So yeah, when I got the email to play at that event, I was like ecstatic. I was like, what? Like really? It's only been like a year since I started. Like this person really wants me to open. So when I got the email, I for sure like took it without like a second thought. But then after that, I had to think about the logistics on how I would make that possible. Because the catch was, the event was on a Thursday. So, and at the time, it was my spring quarter in VA Vegas rotation. So I was in my rotation in spring as well, with Dr. Adeline Liu. So shout out to Dr. Liu. She's amazing.
Love her.
Oh yeah.
Love her.
Yeah, I heard she used to teach at SCCO too. So yeah, she's great. So yeah, the catch was it was on a Thursday, and I had clinic, Thursday and Friday. So I had to think about how I would make it work. And again, it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I was willing to like do whatever it takes to, play there. So I ended up taking a one-way flight from Vegas Thursday night to go to LAX. And then once I landed, me and my friend Mark, he also goes by Soup, he picked me up and then we went to the venue to, play the show. So again, it was a one-way flight, and then on the way back, after I played the show, we drove back to Vegas together afterwards, and he spent the night there and just the whole weekend there, actually. So yeah, that was the biggest show I played. It is Electric Soul at Academy LA. Yeah, it's on a Thursday because the show like sells really, really well. So I think the company keeps it on a Thursday because they know that like.
So you had clinic on Friday, right?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah.
Did you make it on time to clinic?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah. So I slept in the car. Well, we took turns driving back up to Vegas, but yeah, I made sure. I have a rule for myself now since Tucson. Ever since I talked about the whole like balancing school and optometry, and I try to get at least 6 hours of sleep every day before clinic. That way, I'm not totally like what's the word, like fuzzy and cloudy. Like I don't want to put my patients in jeopardy just because I'm pursuing my hobbies in other ways too, right? So yeah, so we took turns. I took like a 6 hour nap, kind of separately. I drove like an hour and a half, and then I slept when we got back to Vegas, and then luckily, yeah, I was able to make it to clinic on time, okay, and yeah, it was good. I think the clinic was like a half day that week though, because we do like a half day every other Friday, and then it will be education the second end of the Friday. So yeah, everything worked out perfectly. Yeah. Again, just
That's
very
crazy,
grateful.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
That
Now, you finished optometry school. Just graduated. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's next for you?
Yeah, so in the future, I for sure would want to do both music and optometry together. As for optometry, I'm gonna be doing a 1-year residency program in VA San Diego. So, I love San Diego so much. I've been there many times when I was in undergrad, and I've spoken to a lot of like the previous residents and the current residents, and they seem to really like it. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good year, expensive year, but I think we'll be fine. And then at the same time, I intend to start producing and remixing. So what that is I'm trying to kind of make my own music now, because I think I'm at a point where I can make mashups pretty efficiently and pretty well now. And the next level of progression in music would be making your own music, and yeah, so I plan to do that, as I'm going through residency in San Diego as well. And then hopefully getting some shows in San Diego. We'll see. I played there once, so I kind of have like a foot in the door a little bit already. So I'll be sure to reach out to the organizers and whatnot. So yeah, so in the future, pursuing a residency program, and who knows, after that, I probably want to work in private practice or hospitals, whatever that may be. But at the end of the day, I think I want to go back to education though. I think I really like teaching. I've had really good teachers, in optometry school and undergrads, really good tutors. And it's kind of inspiring to me that, they're able to help me. And now it's kind of like my way of like giving back to the next generation. it doesn't have to be, being a faculty at SCCO or anything. Maybe just like a preceptor, somewhere. So yeah, back to education and doing music. Yeah, as a hobby.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Would you be able to look right around here and just introduce yourself? What your name is, who you are, real quick for the camera.
All right. So hello, my name is Supanat, but I go by Soup for short, like the soup you drink. I am a recent graduate from SCCO, and I work with electronic dance music on my free time.
And I guess my question was, remember my other question? What is your favorite soup? I have to know because I'm a soup guy. I'm an absolute soup guy. If Soup Plantation was still around, I would still go every freaking week just for their chicken noodle soup. Like clam chowder's bomb too. There are these Asian soups. I mean, I can eat pho on a 100-degree weather day.
Me too. Yeah, I love soup too.
Because your name is Soup, I'm curious to find out what your favorite soup is.
So, have you tried Soup and Fresh before?
Here in Chino Hills?
Yeah, they opened one.
I haven't, but I've seen it.
It's Soup Plantation, basically.
Ooh,
yeah, it's really good. But yeah, my favorite soup is clam chowder. I have a backstory too, but if you need to go, then that's okay.
I probably do.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. Yeah, clam chowder, favorite soup. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Is it Dr. Soon? Is it pronounced Soon?
Soon, like I'll see you soon.
Gotcha. Dr. Soon, yeah.
But it's weird because ever since I graduated, I just found my patients would call me Dr. Soon, Dr. Steven.
Yeah.
I prefer, now that we're colleagues, isn't it
Steven?
Crazy?
Yeah.
You just call me Steven. Because at the show, you're like, yeah, Dr. Soon. I'm just like, bro, we're on the same level now. I know you're not used to it, right?
Yeah,
you're not used to it.
Not. Yeah.
But we are colleagues now, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I'm sure when you see your doctors at SCCO, the professors, you're still gonna be like Dr. Sarmar, Dr. Lin, Dr. Lu, whoever. It's just weird to call them by their first name.
Yeah.
It's like, you see Dr. Tong, you're like, hey, Judy.
No. Yeah. I think when Dr. Lee, I think John Lee was giving us a presentation, he was like, you guys can just call me John now. And I just could not comprehend that. I think it was, it's too much. I feel like if